Okay, why am I not able? There we go.
And we're live.
We're live, but I don't know why. Why aren't the three of us up there? There we are. Welcome, everybody. Sorry for the glitch there.
We're
It's like
fine. How are you?
it's like we've never done this before. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about our guest today.
I know, I am too. So, some of you may already know who our guest is, but we would love to introduce our newest author in the 10th House Publishers family, Tamani Wooley. Welcome so much to our comedian roast. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me. Can you just say that one more time? The newest what? I'm
The
sorry.
newest published author, Tamani
I
Wooley.
can't. It's still my
Woohoo!
brain is still doing orbits, guys.
It,
It's
it,
amazing.
isn't it a feeling? I mean, I remember when my first book came out, I was just like, you open the box, you'll look at it, and then the thing that was your albatross 2 weeks ago, and you're like, I finally got this off my desk. Then you open it up, and then you're like, I did that,
It's
right?
better
I
than
did a thing.
Christmas. It's better
Oh,
than Christmas. But I told Daryl because she's, the fabulous proofreader and has really been holding my hand through the process that
thank
my
you.
pelvis hurts because I feel like I've given birth, you
Wow.
know?
Wow, that's pretty fantastic. I'm pretty sure I'm glad I was on the other side of the office, I guess. It's all I'm going to say about that, but congratulations. Congratulations. It's a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
And if you've read any of
Oh,
it, you know exactly what I'm talking about then. So what's your inspiration? Like what was your thing that made you go, that's it, I'm going to write a book?
I think self care, the desperate need for self care. This book started
mhm.
through a writing class at my local public library. So shout out to the public libraries out there for holding
Love it.
classes like that. Um, I'm a foster parent, so you understand that very well, Brandon. And there is a pressure and a balance that's really hard to achieve when you're a foster parent for the right reasons and you love your children and you're battling the system and some of the effects of their trauma. And I just was in desperate need of finding something that would feed my soul and take care of me. And I used to write all the time when I was younger, and then life happened. Life was lifing, and these characters they were in my head. And going to the writing class at the library just helped me put them on paper, and that's where this story started.
That's awesome. So, were you a big fan of romance as a kid?
Let's define
Silly
romance.
question.
Can we talk about romance for a
There
second?
is there is a scope to romance novels. That's true. That is true.
Mhm.
Yes. I was an avid romance reader, so I used to sneak my mom's Harlequins. I knew exactly where she kept them in the closet as a teenager and just fell in love with the genre. So I remember reading Harlequins and Blaze and Alora's Cave. And so I've been reading romance novels forever. And I was in New York City after 4/9/11, and that was another real
Oh,
life-changing moment. And two of the
yeah.
things that really got me through that was running. I started jogging, and I would run Prospect Park. Then I would go to the Brooklyn Public Library. This was every Friday. I would go and get like 2 romance novels. I started with Sandra Brown. Shout out to the
Mhm.
OG, Sandra Brown.
Nice.
And I actually was working with her daughter-in-law. I didn't even know that. And
Really?
right?
That's awesome.
Mhm.
How cool.
So, lovely family, and Nora Roberts, and I would just,
Mhm.
from Friday to Sunday, I would devour romance novels, and
I
that
love that.
kind of kept me balanced and going through. So I really credit the genre for helping me get through a really, really difficult time.
Did you find inspiration? So it's one thing that I like asking authors is, was there one particular, you mentioned two, but is there one particular author that you're like, this is what I want to emulate? Like, this is the person who to me is like the
Mhm.
guru that really is somebody you wanted to emulate their style and how they get their characters developed and things like that.
Nora Roberts.
She's the
She
one.
is the queen of the genre for a reason.
Mhm.
And
I
and the only one that I know, by the way, aside from you, just to let you know, like I'm all out for our top list, but keep going, keep going.
I love Nora Roberts. Her ability to tell a story and to give you characters that you fall in love for and root for and remember. I mean, there's series of books
Yeah,
that I still, the characters still come to my mind. They stick with you, and you want to
right.
know how they're doing. They become real to you, and
Mhm.
so that's what I hope people get from Do You Dare. I mean, the characters are so real to me. The Princess Squad, which you got, I'm telling you, if you are within the sound of my voice, and when you get this book, as much as you're going to love Colin and Tessa's love story, the right, Daryl, you read it.
I read it.
How awesome
Yes.
are the Princess Squad?
Oh, they're amazing, amazing.
These four chicks right here, I'm
Mhm.
telling you, if you have a group of girlfriends, you're going to see yourself in that.
Yep.
And the way they banter and stick together and cry together and laugh together and give you a hard time for the walk of shame together is amazing.
Yes.
And I really loved the Bridal Quartet series from Nora Roberts. And so my
Mhm.
inspiration, to really do strong female characters, I have a really good bond, kind of came from that. I call it, Sex in the City
Yeah.
kind of meets the Bridal Quartet, but with a
Yeah.
multicultural landscape, because I wanted characters that emulate my life. And in
Right.
real life, hopefully you have people of all different walks and races that are in your life. So I have friends that are white, black, Asian, Latino,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to
Yeah.
represent that in my writing.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely think it comes across because you've got all of those characters in your book, which I think is fantastic. So, do you find that your characters always talk to you, even after you've gotten them on page?
Ooh.
Yes. And Jessica is really in my head right now. And when you read the book, you'll know why, because that Jessica is something. Her story is oh, am I giving too much? Am I spoiling it? But it's at the end of the book. Her
No.
story's coming up next. Um, but there are also some things that are happening. So I still hear conversations between the girls.
Mm,
Um, and that's exciting to me because that means they're real and they're really
yeah.
well defined and their stories are living, breathing things. So I love that they talk to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
feel like I'm behind enemy lines right now. I feel like I'm like totally just like
Coming out of the trenches.
for whatever, like people are gonna see this on my channel and be like, somebody send this to every other guest he's ever had on. He does shut up. He
It
is quiet.
doesn't. Yeah, it
This
happens.
is a genre like I'm not familiar with, but I know how and why it's so hugely popular. And I think that even when you go through this, the character development thing, though, I don't care what you write, any sort of fiction in the character development. How do you find like character development pieces out of people? Like like I find it all the time where I'm like, oh, that person be a great character, even though I don't know their full backstory. The fact that they presented themselves in a certain way is a part that I'm like, aha, what else could I use here? How
Mhm.
many? I don't want to say how many of these people in your story are people you know, but how do you draw inspiration and inference from other people that you know or people that you've met over the years?
So I have my own Princess Squad, a really amazing group of girlfriends. We get together every few months for some wine and brunch. How about them apples?
Nice.
And just the way we laugh and the way we banter and the way we decompress was very much an inspiration for this story.
Mm,
But because it was in my mind for so long, the story kind of told itself. I really didn't have
Yeah,
a real official outline. I mean, the characters were
mhm.
already living in me. And I think if you're within the sound of my voice, and I believe that everybody has something they know they're called to do, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I hope that
absolutely.
this inspires you to do it because you can do it. And this story was just with me for so long that really it kind of told itself. And I find that especially with artistry, like that thing that you're birthing is already in you, right? It's
Yeah,
out
Mhm.
there in the universe.
Very
You just have
true.
to get to
Yeah,
quiet
it's like tap
yourself enough to
yeah,
to receive it.
yeah, it's like tapping into it. So, you talk about being a busy foster mom. So, how did you find the time to write? Like, how did you build it into your schedule? Because that's a lot of people's struggles.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Tell
working, you've got
tell me.
family, you've got, you know, all these things. So how did you do that?
Well, I have a teen and a tween, so 11 and 15. And
Mhm.
they knew that Sunday afternoons was my time. I mean, my uncles would
Mhm.
tell you, okay, so you're going to go shut yourself in your room and write? I'd be like, yes, baby, that's what I'm going to do. So they could, watch TV, have their tablet time. We try to have at least one day in my house where you can kind of decompress and reset. And so
Yep.
that's Sunday afternoons for us. So I would just, go shut myself in my room after church and for at least 4 hours and spend that time writing. I'm also somebody who needs accountability.
Yeah.
So through the writing
Yeah.
class at my local library, I was able to, the person who taught that, Mud Pie, who's fantastic, has a writers group. So,
Uh,
she invited the whole class to come to the writers group. Two of us took her up on the offer. And so 2 Wednesdays a month, we meet at another local library. Again, shout out to the
mm,
local libraries.
It's
yeah.
it's
So
am
having
it
that
it
accountability helped.
it's
Absolutely.
amazing too how refined you have to get when you're putting your thoughts down on paper, because when you're talking about it, because you and I have had some discussions, and when we start talking, like you can't tell which one starts and which one ends. But one of the things is that kind of discipline where you're like, okay, but what's important about this? What do I need to do? You learn the art of storytelling if you don't already have it. How is
Mhm.
storytelling to you? Like, is that something that's innate to you? I mean, you've had a career in media, you've had a career, in other, marketing type roles. Telling the story is super important.
Yeah.
How did that translate into the book, though?
That's a really good question. I do consider myself a storyteller.
Yeah.
How you tell stories in romance is very different. I think if you have a genre that you love, you're going to be able to find your way. So I
Mhm.
started writing the book and it was mostly done. And I kind of did it backwards. I started kind of educating myself and signing up for some writing seminars. And they're like, okay, you need 5 beats and this should hit here and this should hit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I had it.
Mhm.
And I was surprised, but I had it because I love the genre so much.
Right.
Every
Right.
author understood what you meant when you said,
Yes.
"Oh, I hit it. Oh, I got it." Because you're like, you can tell the story over and over again. And when you get to a certain point where it finally clicks, where it finally says, aha, that is the story I want to tell. That's the tone. And it's all those things. It's the tone, it's the predictive nature of it. It's all of those things. Sometimes those lines, just that one line sets the tone for so much more because you're like, oh,
Mhm.
that's actually the tonality that I wanted because that's a revenge moment or that's an aha moment or that's, whatever is playing out in that man versus situation. Right. Um, I think it's impressive when you learn it on the fly. Like, I think everybody should write
Yeah.
a book, and I'm not just saying that because we own a publishing company. I think everybody should take at least one short story idea and tailor it and bring it in because I think it's so cathartic too.
Yeah,
Oh,
writing's very healing.
Yeah.
I journal almost every day. That helps me get my thoughts on paper. So I agree, and your story needs to be told, however you choose to
mhm.
tell it. I mean, mine is inspiration of you know being in New York City, living in New York City at the height of the Sex and the City phenomenon, and
Mhm.
having those authors, those romance authors that I absolutely love, and who have inspired me. But everybody has a story, and I know you hear that tagline
Absolutely.
a lot, but you hear
Mhm.
it because it's true. And
Yeah.
how can you get that out there? And there's a lot of means in which to do that. And your story is going to inspire someone else. I can't tell you, Daryl and Brandon, how many people have been like, I've always wanted to write a book, but you did it.
Mhm.
Now I'm inspired to do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. So, yes,
Yeah.
step
I
out in that thing
agree.
that scares you to do, and in my acknowledgments, that's one of the things I say, like, I hope if you're reading this, you do that thing even if it scares you, because you have a story to tell and people to inspire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want you to share the news that you told me just before we went on.
Uh-oh.
So
What? I'm so excited because, yeah, I'm ranked on Amazon. How
yes.
wild is that? Just last night, my friend went on and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Tamani, you're like 500 and something in multicultural, and then 1,000 something in enemies to lovers, because Colin and Tessa and Colin start out, they back into being enemies. Daryl will
I
tell
love it.
you. I get into it.
They
That chapter
do.
3, what? And chapter
I
4 is
can't.
one of my favorites to write in the book. So I mean,
I
it
can't.
again.
I can't wait to finish reading this. But by the way, guys, you can click on the link below. It'll bring you right to it on Amazon, or you can go to Tamari's website if you want to sign up for
Tamani.
her groups and that sort of thing. It's important to kind of support. Like we talk about this stuff all the time. It's important to get our word out there. It's important to get the name out there. But it's also important because you've got a series coming up, and I know Daryl's going to talk to you about this. There's more than just this book coming, and that's what's exciting for me, because not only are you going to find the voice, you're going to find the development of the characters, you're going to find the deeper intellect. And even if it's a completely different setting, even if it's a completely different thing, your development in this is going to be noted as well. I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I enjoy the challenge, right? I mean, it's a challenge, and I can't wait for every girl in the Princess Squad to get her story. This book was dedicated to my friend Rochelle Boone, who lost her battle with pancreatic cancer last year at just 48, and she was always one of my biggest cheerleaders. So you see the cover's purple. It's November, which is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. So 10% of book sales are going to pancreatic cancer awareness in her honor. And then I'm going
Amazing.
to the following 3 books, because it's a 4-book series, because there's 4 members of the Princess Squad. There's going to be a cause close to my heart that 10% goes to. So Jessica's next, and she's going to be red, that fiery one there, and that's going to go to blood cancer because my dad passed away from leukemia. Brandon, you and I are foster parents, so the 3rd book is going to go to foster care awareness. And then the last book is going to go to breast cancer awareness, 10%, because my mom's a breast cancer conqueror. So, we're all going through something. And that's what I said. Writing this book was my self-care. It helped me navigate the stresses of being a foster parent, and it helped me navigate grief, because I lost two friends last year unexpectedly, and amazing people. And so it was my way, like you said, Brandon, it's so cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The healing dynamics to it too, and the idea that you're able to kind of do it in their honor. So I want to point something out. What color is the book, by the way?
Purple.
What happened to your screen right before we started?
It turned purple.
Purple.
I'm
I
just
didn't
going to
put
be
that
I'm going to
together.
be the resident expert and say that was your friend saying hi.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, I
Is
didn't put
it?
that together.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
an amazing
I
cousin.
do, because she just told me. I'm a lot of fun. I am not much of a dancer. Oh, but the next stage of this, we have the soft cover out. The hard copy is landing. You do have it on ebook as well, but we're going to be recording the audiobook as well. It will be available on Audible when it's ready. And, you're throwing caution into the wind, and I'm going to be Collins, is it? Is that who I am?
Colin, that's right. Tessa and
Am I
Colin.
gonna
Colin for the
Colin?
win.
Am I gonna be? Should I approach? Tell me how I should approach it. Like pretend you're like the acting coach, and like you're the director, and you're like, okay, Brandon, I need a little more of this. Like, what kind of tonality do I need to be? Because I talk to myself a lot. Sometimes there's people there, sometimes there aren't, but I do kind of do a little bit of like acting play in the vocals. What kind of direction should you give me?
Oh, Colin is very confident and resonant. Like his voice is very sexy and resonant and
Mhm.
confident. He's a total alpha male, because I write the
Me.
Sasarian
Am I an
heroines.
alpha though? Is that really what this is? But
Yeah, you're
also
not an
me.
alpha.
I don't know about the alpha. I mean, I'm more of an intelligent. Can I be smart?
Yeah, Colin's very smart.
Mhm.
He's
I'm
sexy
in.
smart.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Does
I
he drink out of
agree.
a Pisces cup and curl himself into the corner once a month and cry himself to sleep?
No,
Okay, I'm just wondering. I'm asking for another like
you have him
bro
on
code.
that one, Brandon. That's for sure.
Just asking for a friend.
Confidence. Confidence. It's all about confidence. Okay. So my motivation is
Oh my
confidence.
gosh. Mhm.
So is it more of like, am I using descriptive words? Because I've read, this is one of those things where Daryl is our resident expert on this stuff, and Daryl's like, "This is really good." Like Daryl's like, she's patting herself down. I'm like, "Would you have a jalapeno?" She goes, "No,
I had
I'm
to go
reading her book."
outside. I was like, whew.
Yeah, I'm like, "Well, that was I didn't even know that was a thing." And I'm like, "Oh, clearly the heat's up too high." Which, by the way, I'm terribly sorry while you guys were working. Anyways, the idea of it, this is a genre I don't know, and for some obvious reasons, it doesn't necessarily resonate with me. But this is why I'm excited about it. I think that the parts that I have read kind of through it, as in like, hey, give me a gist of the story, right? I will eventually read the whole thing, but it's the character development. I keep going back to that. There is so much more than just this book. Isn't just the, oh yeah, you want to flirt with me, I'll meet you tomorrow. Like, it's not just kind of that
No.
kind of like saltiness, salty sexuality, if you will. This is more of like an intelligent I'm going to use the word interdimensional kind of seduction kind of thing, where you go back and forth, and it's like you're playing with gravity the whole time. And I've only read about 40 pages of it, so then I had to go outside and cool off or whatever.
Yeah. It's a really well written story, and I did that for a reason. I wrote the kind of romance that I like to read. I just don't want to open up a book and it's just smut and steam, and you don't care about the people who are doing it, and you don't feel any connection, and there's no real story. That's not enjoyable to me.
Right.
What I love is a romance that has a real story, that's well written, that has real conflict, that has characters, like you said, that you're going to fall in love with and stay with you. And then, yes, I bring the heat, I bring the steam, but it's,
You know the words is what I'm saying.
yep,
You know the words.
when you get there, why you're there, and it's well written, and it's tasteful, and it matters because you've become bonded to the characters.
Yeah, the characters all have substance. You learn what makes them tick, why they think, why they think the way they do, and how they grow. You do that character development arc so well with your characters. And it really does want to make you now go, oh, so I want to learn more about Jessica. I want to learn more about Isabella. You're drawn to the characters because you do give them depth. They're not just two people that are like, yeah, let's go, roll in the hay. So yeah, I mean, it's so well done. I really have to say.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And Colin too. Colin has his redemptive arc, and then he has his bestie Louise. And don't forget about baby girl Mia, Tessa's baby sister. So yeah, I want you to understand what makes everyone tick and why they get along so well in their backstory. And hopefully you see yourself in it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a steamy romance novel, but it's also about the power of friendship. And Daryl, it's so important to have those girls in your life, those women in your life that you're ride or die. And it's also about opening up and not allowing fear to keep you from loving and being loved in return. I think that's a really important message, is that it's okay to take the risk to love. And Tessa goes on that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a little bit of breaking a cycle for her as well, which is huge. But
and you tackle cyclical issues, and you break the cycle. I'm listening. I'm so down for that. I really am.
But you do go up 110 degrees, though, like my copy editor said, when you get to my steamy scenes. It's
Listen,
worth it.
in between my usual work schedule and, private readings and, in groups and blah, 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 I'm going to be finishing my first romance novel this weekend. So that'll be, I got things on the horizon with that.
It's light reading during Thanksgiving,
Oh my
after
God.
you have your turkey dinner.
That's what I'll do. I will read it at the Thanksgiving table.
You're not going to be able to put it down. I have people who got it Saturday, and they're already almost done. I did my first book signing Saturday, and people are texting me, my friends, and they're like, "I'm almost done," and I'm enjoying it so much.
That's awesome.
And a part of me is like, they're like, it's so well written. And a part of me is like, well, yes, but should I be insulted that they didn't think it was going to be well written?
Listen, Tamani, people that I went to college with and high school and just people that knew me and whatever life it is that I lived, they were like, "You wrote a book?" And I'm like, "It's in crayon." It's like you got to play into them a little bit. But
So
yeah,
what's your next oh, sorry, Brandon.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so what's your next event coming up?
So my next event coming up is Black Friday. I'm going to be at Just One More Chapter in Glens Falls. And it's a fantastic for romance readers. Guys, don't miss this. It's a romance only bookstore. So every book in that store is dedicated to romance. And they
Awesome.
have a little black curtain where it's a little more of the
Oh.
steamier romance. I don't think I'm going back there, but I'll be there from 10 to 4 Black Friday, and that's in Glens Falls. If you can't make it to Glens Falls, I will be farther south in Albany on the 30th at 3 p.m. at the Book House in Stuyvesant Plaza. So
Awesome.
I think it's great because, you can get to me above the Twins at Just One More Chapter in Glens Falls, and I'll be there Friday, the 29th from 10 to 4. And then on Saturday at 3 p.m., I will be at the Book House in Stuyvesant Plaza. And then I will be in Colony Center Mall on December 7th and December 21st. So cool. I would love to see you. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to sign a book for you. And please also get the ebook. It's only $3, less than, our bougie coffee. As I say, get both, gift. Daryl, isn't this the best stocking stuffer for your girlfriends?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Got my
Are there
copy.
connotations to this? Like, is this like it fits in a stocking? Like, is this a double entendre,
It would
or
fit
is
in a
this more of a?
stocking.
Okay, all right, fine. I'll be over here being the 12-year-old kid, but I'm excited for you because for me, with the book and any other entertainment venue, whatever, it's always about meeting people. I love to meet people and just talk to them. And sometimes now, I mean, my first book's been out for a while. People will come up to me, and this is still my favorite when you get recognized for the book. When somebody goes, "Oh my gosh, I was in the Orlando airport." And I know there's a lot of direct flights from where I live to Orlando, but somebody's just like, "Oh my gosh, I have your book. I just got it." And I'm like, "That's so cool." And then they're like, "Can you sign it?" And I'm like, "I'll be another 20." But anyway, so that's just, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I signed it, but it's kind of fun when you go on this adventure and the people that you meet. And that's the thing that I think a lot of authors don't always necessarily capture, is that the stuff after it comes out and you start talking about it and you hear them recite back, "Oh my God, I can't believe she did that. Oh my gosh, he deserved that," or whatever the case may be. It's like being a musician and seeing somebody sing your song back to you. It's an awesome feeling. And it is, there's hidden thrills in being an author, and that's one of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. You have been so welcoming, Brandon. The author community here in the Capital Region is like none other. They have embraced me. They have said, "Welcome to the club." They have bought books. They're helping me, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the reaction online, which has been so humbling and so heartwarming. So I say thank you. I have a fan page for Tamani Wooley Romance on Facebook. So please join that, as well as my newsletter at tamaniwooleyromance.com. So you can keep up. I'll put my tour schedule. I love that people are calling it a tour on the newsletter, and also on the fan page. But Daryl, Brandon, you recommended that. I really want to hear people's thoughts on the book. I want to know what character that you most felt like you were like. I want to know if you feel like you're Tessa or Mia or Isabella or Jessica. What part of the book were you somebody who closed your heart off because you got hurt at a certain point in your life, and this has given you the courage to be like, you know what, let me try again. Are you reaching out to your girlfriends a little bit more because the Princess Squad, let's all be princesses. Brandon, you're honorary.
Listen, I don't know if you know my demographic or not, but it's 88% women, and we're kind of nailing it here. So we're good. We're good. It's
Totally
just us
are.
girls. It's just us
Totally
girls.
are.
Right? I'm the foil to your romance novel.
I love it. And there's a reason that romance is 40% of the market, right?
Big time.
I mean, it's an amazing genre that can explore all different kinds of things. And I hope people will read it and see people who don't look like them. or don't necessarily have their background, but they realize, oh, wait, we can all get along. We're all just like each
Exactly.
other. We all have our fears, our hopes, our dreams.
Yep.
We're more alike than we are different. And I love as an African-American author that everybody from all different kinds of walks of life, young, old, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, gay, straight, you name it, have all come and said they've enjoyed this book. And
That's
that matters
great.
to me. And
Mhm.
Daryl, we buried the lead.
Yeah.
Older woman,
Yeah.
younger man.
Younger man. Right.
Hello.
Can't.
May,
I have too many
December.
grays to be passed off now. I can't. Gotta be
It's
60
all
plus,
good.
I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh yes, Tess is older than Colin. How about them
Yes.
apples?
Woo.
Woo!
I
You're
back to you,
speechless.
Daryl.
Okay. So we are going to move on to a little
Oh.
fun topic here. So you two are going to have to get your little thinking caps on.
Love it.
So our little quiz today is top 10 romance novels of all time.
This
Now,
is your revenge, isn't it?
it kind of is.
Wow.
It's like, what can I do to Brandon to make sure that he can't win?
Now, I will say that I had heard of all of them except for 2. So you will know the titles. There were 2 that I was like, oh, I don't know those 2. But so you guys are going to take turns guessing. I will let you know if you are wrong
This
or right.
this isn't even close to my genre. I still like spell
Well,
romance with an E.
Romance.
This is
Rimmons.
tough, Daryl.
And I'm going to say that the majority of these have been turned into movies. So think about romance movies. That'll give you some clues.
Okay. That helps. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
I'll give you
thank you.
clues as you go along. If you get
So we're
stuck.
not getting the author, we're getting the book.
The book.
Okay.
Well, if you want to say like, oh, this author, I could say yes or no. If that helps.
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking. Who goes
All right.
first?
You go first, Tamani.
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of a chivalry is not gone here, right?
I love that. So I'm going to
Right.
say 50 Shades of Grey.
Believe it or not, no.
Oh. Well,
Really?
there goes my list.
I know.
Oh, I got one. Bridges of Madison County.
One of my favorites, but no.
Yeah, I think that's more chick lit, but I loved it. Okay. Bridgerton.
No.
Holy Vajoli.
Yeah.
All time. Okay.
Go back.
Are they
in
rude?
time.
Are they rude titles? Like, is it about
Nope.
like, wow? So you've got mail.
No. Think
Like,
novel. Don't. You got to think novel first.
yeah, Daryl. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm out.
I know.
Like, I'm all out of them.
But you know these books. You know
I'm
these books.
embarrassing myself. Red, White, and Royal Blue.
No. Mm-mm. So I'm going to encourage you guys to go step back in time a little bit. What's the era of Bridgerton?
Oh, historical. Are they historical romances?
Some of them are.
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. That would be number 5.
How did I get one before you, Tamani?
Exactly. Well,
I still
I
want
don't
to say
know.
you
I feel
got
like
mail.
that's more chick lit than romance. Okay, how about Emma?
Yep.
Okay.
Number 6.
Now we got this,
Now
right?
you got
Now
it.
you guys are on a roll. I know.
Indecent
Romance
Proposal.
is. What's that? Indecent Proposal.
Indecent Proposal.
No.
That soundtrack though is banging.
That was a good soundtrack. I thought the
Right,
soundtrack was a bit better than the movie.
It's not your fault if you can't. It's not Sade's fault.
Can we ask questions? Is Nora Roberts on this list?
She is not.
Gosh.
I know.
So I feel like it's more, like maybe chick lit, like novel chick lit than like the little paperback romance. Got it.
Yeah.
Can I go again, or is this?
No, please do.
How about Little Women?
No, it's not really a romance. No, it's not on the list. Sorry.
I don't.
Interview with the Vampire?
No. Mm-mm.
She's having a baby. Kevin Bacon is still like 6 Degrees. I can't not bring up a Kevin Bacon film.
Okay, I'm going to say one came out when in the 90s. Huge, popular. It turned into like a cult classic movie that gets quoted all the time.
The Big Lebowski.
And it's quoted in your book, Tamani.
Oh,
What book is referenced in
now
Do
you
You
get why
Dare?
she's.
Oh no! It's quoted in my book. The
It
Princess
is.
Bride.
Yes, The Princess Bride.
Yay!
How
Got
do-
one. That was a good one.
Number 9.
How can you call that romance?
That's what I'm saying. When I
That's
think,
not a kissing book. Is this a kissing book? He says no. It's not a kissing
It's
book.
not a kissing
No.
book.
He
Yeah.
specifically says there's
But it's the
fighting,
love
there's fencing.
between Wesley and what's her face there.
right.
You know.
Please tell me the Notebook is on there.
It's not. You guys are going to kill me. It's not.
The Proposal.
No.
That's not right.
Tamani, come on.
Stick back.
So this
Stick
isn't
back more with Pride and Prejudice era.
Gone with the Wind.
That was number 14. Good guess. Not top 10, but number 14.
Grapes of Wrath. The Wizard of Oz.
How is Gone with the Wind number 14? How about Jane Eyre?
Number 1.
Jane Eyre is number 1?
Number 1. Yes.
I wonder if people listening to this, are you guys as astounded as I am? I would love, do you have a place where they can put their guesses before we started going down the list? I would love
people
that.
Usually do. People usually do.
Yeah, people usually do. Yeah, these are more classics than they are.
I mean, if that's the point, can we say Lord of the Flies? Listen, I don't know.
Heaven Can Wait.
No.
I don't. How many more Jane Austen books are on there?
Same Time Next Summer.
One more. There's one more Jane Austen. You got Pride and Prejudice, and you got Emma.
Same Time next year.
Persuasion?
No, but that's like one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
It was also a big movie.
A big movie.
For
Tootsie.
Jane Austen.
Ghostbusters.
Brandon, you're so silly.
The tension between Venkman and Dana Barrett is notable. I'm just letting you know.
Oh my stars.
Oh my stars is right.
We did Pride and Prejudice. We did Emma.
Yep.
There's one
it's
more.
Like Pride and Prejudice. It's and
Yeah, people love that Mr. Darcy.
Oh, they do. Mr. Darcy.
I don't know.
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
No? Okay. I will.
You gonna put us out of our misery?
I am. Woo. Oh, my heart was
Anna
over
Karenina.
Anna
Test of the Urbanvilles.
Yeah.
Okay. I would not. Anna Karenina?
Yeah.
Who has actually read Anna Karenina? It's like this thick.
I did actually read it.
Did you do it because you wanted to or because you were forced to for a class?
I read it because I wanted to. I know. I'm
She's
that
sick.
nerdy
She's
person.
sick, Tamani.
I know.
You see this?
I see it. Wow, Tess. I would never have guessed North and South, although that was a fantastic series back in the day when there was, remember Sunday night, those Sunday night movies and like the Thornbirds. I'm surprised the Thornbirds isn't on here.
It was number 15.
Okay.
Yeah. So
how about Mrs. Chatterley's Lover?
No, surprisingly.
See, that's where I was going with that. That's where I was going. Oh, the story of O. That was a good film. Anyways. A friend told me about it.
So that's a very surprising list. And kudos to you, Daryl, because you stumped us.
And guess what? Someday
I know. You're gonna have to make
your
a
book
list
is gonna
for
be
me.
on there.
Thank you. I receive that manifesting.
Oh, crazy eights over here, huh? All right, cool. All right, Daryl, take
So,
us home.
yeah, we're going to wrap up. Thank you, Tamani, for being here. Please check out her website, tamaniwooleyromance.com. If you haven't already, the ebook you can pre-order. It goes live on the 23rd, I believe. Hardcover is going to be landing soon, and we do have an updated paperback. So thank you, Tamani, so much for being here. We're so happy for your success that you've already had and all the things that are to come. And thank you for choosing us to get your book out to the world.
There you go. All right, Tamani,
Right.
hard taps. Thanks so much for being part of the journey here. And remember, everybody, keep going. Click on the link below, sign up for the email list, get your copy today, follow the Amazon link, and keep going.
Keep going. All right. We are out.